Thank you, Chris. Well, as we get closer to the new year, you may be thinking about starting diets, tossing the cigarettes, or changing some other habits. But what can we all do to improve our overall success? Joining us live this morning is our friend and licensed professional counselor, Nika Owens. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Anu. Thanks for having me.
All right, you know, when we're talking about the new year, it kind of gets a lot of us going about, all right, we're going to make some changes. But where do we start?
I think the good start is to just gain some self-awareness as it relates to where you are. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And oftentimes it's hard to identify what those weaknesses are because we're in the thick of things. So it's sometimes nice to get a trusted friend, ask them, someone that you trust that will give you the good, the bad, the indifferent, someone that you can receive from, because sometimes they see things that you don't see. So self-awareness is a great start.
All right, and you're talking about identifying those weaknesses and strengths.
Absolutely, because we can't change what we don't acknowledge. If we don't identify what our weaknesses are, we can't change them. If we don't identify what our strengths are, we can't build on those strengths.
All right, so what are some other tips out there?
I think the other thing is identify what your passion is. Sometimes when we don't have a passion for something, we're not very motivated. So I think it's very important to identify what you're passionate about, because that fuels creativity. Passion, passion, passion. It is so very important to identify what your passion is.
And you also say use the mirror. You're talking about the friends. We all have those, and hopefully have those trusted friends out there.
Your friends that you can receive from, because sometimes we don't see what other people see. It's like the blind self. It's like, what do you see in me that I don't see in myself? And if you're not courageous enough to actually do that, sometimes we stay stuck in situations and circumstances that we can't see, because sometimes things become so normalized that we don't see what other people see.
And it also feels like, you know, we can be our own toughest critics, so it's nice to actually perhaps have those friends, you know, help boost us up and see things that perhaps, like you said, we don't see about ourselves.
Absolutely. I think it's very important to be able to, you know, go to someone and say, you know what, I've been stuck here. A lot of times we have all this unfinished business, and we get stuck in a particular, like I say, circumstance, and we can't identify how to move forward. But you may have someone else that could actually identify how you need to move forward if you have a friend that's trusted. It takes a lot of insight to really want to make those changes, and therefore that's why I say it's nice to kind of talk to a friend, someone you love and that you can receive from.
And you also say don't make everything important. What do you mean? We
often make too many things important, so we make all these goals and we don't get anything accomplished. So you want to really attack one thing at a time, because oftentimes what happens is we have so much unfinished business. You know, when we look at 2013, so I didn't complete that task because we made too many things important. So sometimes you got to identify what your resources are. How do I get this one project completed? I've been wanting to do this for years, and so you have to identify, you know, what are my resources, who are the major players who can help me get this assignment done.
All right, love it. Nika Owens, great to see you. Happy holidays.
Thank you so much for having me.